Have you been a fan of Justin Trudeau's governance of the country? Do you think it's him that's the problem? What do you think about that, about in terms of the policies we have right now?
I really don't think he's just doing anything. He's just kind of sitting there doing nothing, really. I don't think that he's just kind of sitting there buying time, really.
It should be increased for, like, the standard for entry in Canada should be higher a bit more. So people entry, like the immigrants, they will be like higher educated. Yeah, I don't want too many immigrants either.
Hey guys, Andrew here, back on another university campus, undercover with Lincoln J. I'm basically wearing all of his clothes except for this shirt. We're at University of Toronto, Scarborough, to ask people a tough question today. As a big immigrant population in this area, Justin Trudeau has announced that they're going to increase immigration numbers to 500,000 people per year by 2025. A tough question, but we're going to see what people think. Let's go. Yesterday, the government announced they're increasing immigration levels to 500,000 people per year, starting in 2025. And we're asking people, given the rent prices, the housing prices, the cost of living, if you think that's a sustainable number moving forward.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about this.
I think it's okay because, describing immigrants, people coming in, right, into the country. And Canada offers many chances to many people across the world. So
I feel like there are like both pros and cons. Like, cause for like original population is not that many for Canada, right? But also I feel like it should be increased for, like the standard for entry in Canada should be higher a bit more. So people entry, like the immigrants, they will be like higher educated. Yeah, I don't want too many immigrants either.
I feel like we should actually focus on the housing crisis and decreasing interest rates, because adding more immigrants is just going to lead to an inflation, and more houses are going to be bought up, and that's just going to continue the downward slope that we're headed on.
It may seem unsustainable in the sense where, there are so many people coming in and there's still a lot of domestic issues which remain unresolved. But with that said, I think that, we can't just look at people as individuals, but we have to look at them as potential. And I think that everyone that comes in, regardless of where they're from or what experience they've had in the past, they have the potential to contribute to Canada economically, socially, as well as politically.
That was a whole lot of jargon. I think that we have proved that through the gigantic increase in immigration that it is not sustainable. That's just my opinion. You look at the housing prices, you look at the wages, you look at rent, and they're unattainable for most people. Now you can blame inflation, but the simple fact that there aren't enough houses to bring the housing costs down, I think, is a product of having too many people of any background or origin.
Actually, I'm not too sure about it, because I'm also an international student, so my view would be more people should come.
Now, Lincoln, no limits. Now, this is some pretty positive engineering advertising. I think this is the first campus we've been on so far of 6 now, where everything isn't plastered in pride stuff and diversity stuff. This seems to be a business school with a lot of smart people in it, and I've yet to see anything related to pride or diversity things or about how native everything is or needs to be, frankly.
We're at a point where they're going to keep bringing, people are going to keep immigrating, but that's not going to, I don't think that'll change anything. It's just they need to start dealing with things at a fundamental level, like looking at, the fact that wages aren't at the right place, the fact that housing is still astronomically high, everything. Immigrants, I don't think, are the main concern, and I don't think that's going to change anything.
I don't really have an opinion because I don't live here, but I suppose if the government give opportunity for people from other countries, but in an environment of clear rules, I think it's okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know that much about politics, to be honest, but I feel like, like she said, there's a lot of people who want to be here. There's a lot of people who need to be here, but I agree, too, that, it's not possible to bring in so many people at all times. You have to balance things out.
So we just talked to one guy, one bro even, who didn't want to be on camera, and he says he agrees that it's not sustainable, or he says it's not sustainable, but he thinks due to our declining native population, we need to, increase immigration for that reason because the native population is shrinking. I would argue and posit, Lincoln, that at some point we should try just taking in less people and seeing if that works. because what we're doing right now, I don't believe is sustainable. Housing prices, job market, inflation, everything keeps going up, up, and up. Thank you, Justin Trudeau. I think we should try something else. How is your cost of living situation? Is it easy to afford a place around here?
Definitely not. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting actually.
How do you mean?
Like, I live in a basement and it's really expensive and it's like completely unreasonable. But I don't think that the people immigrating here should be like shut out for that reason.
It's definitely more expensive than what it seems to be, so it would be hard, but I feel like once you get your feet beneath you and you have a good paying job, then you could definitely afford a nice place of your own.
The rent is very challenging, especially to find something that's, you know, within reason. But I think at the end of the day, like I said, it's very hard to know how this policy is going to impact Canada and the Canadian, you know, housing situation as well as economy until there is some data available, which means that people have to come in first.
This is the first social justice thing we've seen on campus, and it's just about mental health, so I don't have a problem about that. But I want to reiterate here that we've been to Trent, U of T, downtown Toronto, Ontario University, Durham College, tons of places. And this is the only campus where they're not shoving things down your throat, and I kind of like it, Lincoln. So America, 350-ish million people, they let in 1 million legal immigrants a year. Canada, around 37 million, and we're going to let in 500,000 a year. Do you feel like constantly increasing the amount of people here is going to cause prices to go up? Or what we're hearing from other people is that they need to address the problems that are going on here, regardless of how many people are coming in, how many houses are available, the types of jobs that are available. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I agree. I think that that's a problem that needs to be solved either way, right? So it's like, whether or not the immigrants come, it's going to be a problem now or in the long run. So it's like, if that's what pushes Canada to fix the problem, then so be it.
Bringing in many people, well, many people can, it's also, I mean, it will increase the unemployment rate, obviously, but also if, I mean, many people comes in, I mean, new ideas, I mean, new people coming from different countries with new ideas, so new ideas to develop the country and also make it better. So I believe that it's a good idea. It's actually a good idea, I mean.
I wouldn't say it's not sustainable like in the long run, but right now we have to focus on our housing and on our own economy. And I feel like taking in too many immigrants is stretching ourselves thin.
Have you been a fan of Justin Trudeau's governance of the country? Do you think it's him that's the problem? What do you think about that, about in terms of the policies we have right now?
I really don't think he's just doing anything. He's just kind of sitting there doing nothing, really. I don't think that he's just kind of sitting there buying time, really.
I don't know enough to make a judgment as to how he is as a prime minister.
I'm not really into politics, I won't lie, so maybe it's not like super useful for your interview topic.
Thanks for watching another episode of Andrew Says on YouTube. If you want the full uncut version of this video and the show, you have to go to rebelnewsplus.com. Lincoln J will be there. He'll be pushing diversity, equity, and inclusion only on rebelnews.com.